Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Power Rangers Lightning Collection. This is the In-Space Red Ecliptor. This is like a deluxe type figure. It is a fan channel exclusive. And the box is actually the same size as the morphed shredder box, which I've had for a couple of months. I still have not opened one of these days. I might do like Instagram reels to catch up on these older Power Rangers figures that I haven't reviewed. So stay tuned for that. I think that's what I'm going to do is, you know, like a minute long quick overview of like package, figure, this and that. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of that idea, but it is the same size as the Morph Shredder if you happen to have that. But here we have the Red Ecliptor. So it's just like the regular Ecliptor figure that was in the Amazon exclusive 2-pack with Astronema, but there are some different pieces to this Red Ecliptor, and I think it's, well, probably just two different pieces, right? The upper arm, well, actually the whole left arm and the left shoulder pad are going to be new. So they kind of did change it up. I don't really remember the red version from the show. It may have been one of those times where, you know, I had it on in the background and I just kind of wasn't paying attention to what was going on because it was, you know, when I had watched the show like a year and a half, 2 years ago, whenever it was at this point. So there was some difference. I think it may have been one single episode, but he got upgrades, so he got additional powers. He was a lot stronger. He destroyed, you know, the Megazord. But then he lost the power and he reverted back to the regular Ecliptor. But it's a really fun figure, so it's cool that we get another version of it. There's a lot of love for Power Rangers in Space. It is an awesome season. And Hasbro is giving a lot of figures for it, so really cool. Really excited. So let's go ahead and get this thing open. We'll do a review. Should be pretty quick since, you know, we've looked at Ecliptor already. There's minor changes, so let's get to it. Okay, so here's the Red Ecliptor figure out of the package, and he's pretty cool. There is some paint that's actually applied to the figure. It's not just like the red plastic or anything like that. So there's some nice details. We get an additional set of interchangeable hands, so we get this lightning effect hand. We did get that with the regular release, or it's cut even then, it's exclusive. So the first release Ecliptor, we get this lightning effect handpiece, and that goes on his left hand, and then for the right we get a replacement fist, and then the right hand actually has some gold color paint added on the knuckles, whereas the left hand does not. It is strictly on the right hand, and then it's both hands, so not only the fist, the extra fist, but the sword holding hand, so we get that paint on there too. So that is pretty cool. So here is Red Ecliptor. Let's get in for a closer look and look at the details. I'll probably have to darken it up a little bit so you could see the difference in paint that is added to the figure, because at first look you may not notice, but there's definitely a little bit of paint added, so, you know, not too shabby. Let's take a closer look. Okay, so I darkened it up a little bit. So looking at it, we get, so for the most part the figure is red. There is some silver paint in certain spots. So right here, that circuitry, we get some silver paint. So in comparison to the first release, there was some red and blue wiring and things like that in there. You know, we did get the green outline throughout majority of the first release Ecliptor. Technically, Red Ecliptor does have some of that same paint, but the line work would be like either a really dark red or a faint black. We did not get that anywhere on this figure, unfortunately, but looking at some of the paint, here's going to be the biggest notice. So look at the kneecaps and how red they are, and notice how it's a much brighter red here in the front and then along the shins as well. And that's because if you look, there is a red paint that's added on the front that does not come around to the back. So, like if I turn, can I turn it all the way around? No, not really. So if you look, lighter, almost like an orangish color versus the darker red. So we get that paint added in the front, but it does not come around to the whole thing. So we get the paint through the front here and the upper thigh, here on the shin. We do not get it on the feet or the arms, but we do get it on his face. So if you notice, you might see some of it. You get like a spray effect going throughout, and I actually really like the way they could do that. So it just transitions into the red. We don't get any of that paint really on the back of the figure. Some, you know, a little bit of highlighting with the silver line work, the panel lining on some areas of the arm, and then the shoulder pad. Again, this arm is all new. The shoulder pad is all new. So that's going to be the difference between this Ecliptor and the old one. Silver hip pieces in there, dark red. But the chest piece, this is all painted that red color. So you could kind of see it if you look like right here and then into you know, as it rounds, it's hard because when you get like the different spots, you know, it could be a shading or lighting issue, but really that's the paint. So you get the brighter red and then you get the darker red on that lip there, because that didn't get painted over. It's just this front portion that got painted. So you'll also see it's a little bit of a brighter color here, and then it goes into a darker red there. So it didn't go everywhere. And then even here, you could see where the spray effect kind of stops there, not so much there. So, you know, you do see a little bit of the difference in there. And I think that it does look really good. We get this little spot here with the silver and green. I think that came out very clean looking. The eyes are a nice bright green as well. And then we get some of that silver paint on his face and on top of his head. The shoulder pad, a lot of silver paint there, and I like that they use a nice silver metallic color. Get the arm here with a little bit of red over some of the silver, again gold for the hand, and then I hate that they gave him red pins on the silver portion of the arm. Like, what the hell was that? Like, who thought of that was a good idea? Because that's terrible. Like, it makes no sense. Why have a red pin? You could have done a silver pin. Maybe red if it was in this arm, but this forearm piece covers where the pin would be anyway. So what? Whoever made that decision, that's a big fail. Like, that doesn't make any sense. You know, you can kind of get away with it because the silvers and reds, but it's still bad. It's still poorly done in my opinion. But really good looking figure. Let's zoom out for the articulation and then we'll look at the two side by side. Okay, so red Ecliptor's articulation. So the head is on a dumbbell joint, so he can only look down that much. He can only look up that much there. You get a full rotation, of course, an insane amount of neck pivot and everything because, again, the dumbbell joint. So the arm, you can get the arm to go out and kind of up, well, basically straight out. You won't full rotation, but this chest piece really gets in the way. It's soft, but you have to work it. And you can see that shoulder pad will rotate with the shoulder, and so it won't get in the way or anything there. We have an upper bicep swivel there. You get a double jointed elbow that is that does have pins, and then wrists swivel, and they do hinge. You get a little bit of hinge in there. This arm, same thing. That shoulder pad is going to move with the shoulder. You can kind of move it up, and then it looks funky with the weird, small, tiny shoulder ball there. Same thing, upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbow. And then this one, again, has the red pin, which should not have a red pin, which is kind of weird. But you get a nice bend on that one. But the shoulder pad, you know, just kind of gets in the way a little bit when you start to move them around. We have the upper diaphragm cut, so he can pivot to his left that much. He can pivot to his right that much there. You can go back a little bit, come forward a little bit, not a whole lot. Then you have the ab crunch, so going both of them together, you can bend down that much. Going both back is a crazy amount, as you can see there. And then we have the swivel at that diaphragm cut there. No swivel at the waist. Legs go out that far apart. No drop down or anything like that. You can kick forward high. Upper thigh cut in there, so swivel. Double jointed knee. They do have pins. No calf swivel or boot swivel or anything like that. But you get a swivel at that ankle. And then foot hinges up a little bit, hinges down quite a bit, and you do have ankle pivot and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So he actually moves around pretty well. These shoulder pad pieces are kind of large, but since they rotate with the shoulder, it actually works out quite well. So now let's see the side-by-side comparison of red Ecliptor and regular Ecliptor. So as you can see, the two figures are essentially the exact same. Again, it's just the difference in those two different arms. So you can see this shoulder, you get the shoulder pad that goes up a lot higher, where here it's a lot lower, and then it has a couple of spikes on it, one right here off to the side, and then one there in front. Different forearms where we don't have a spike on this one. Then the upper bicep, you can see has this circle design where we do not have that on this one. So again, essentially the same figures, just completely different left arms, and that's pretty cool. And then it's crazy sometimes how paint deco can make a figure look completely different when it's actually the exact same. Okay, going over the sword. So it's not the same sword that the first Ecliptor came with. This is a brand new sword, which is pretty cool. We have the 3 different colors right here. I watched a clip of the particular episode in which the Ecliptor was red and he was fighting up against In Space Silver Ranger. I think those buttons did something. It didn't quite really make out exactly what they did. They served a purpose, but it's nice to see that they actually added the paint detail to the sword itself. We get a nice silver color for the blade, which is nice instead of, you know, cheap gray plastic or silver-ish looking plastic. A nice silver paint for that blade looks really good. And there on the hilt as well, we get some additional silver paint. Then down here at the end, so that looks really good. Really like the way that came out looking. And then, of course, the lightning effect, and that looks pretty good as well. And then the hand. Yeah. Okay, and then to finish off the video here, we have the red Ecliptor next to the In Space Silver Ranger. Still no word as to what the hell is going on with this guy, why there just aren't any quantities for folks. Hopefully we'll get another release through Hasbro Pulse.com or where it should be, Walgreens.com, or start showing up in stores. It's kind of crazy how it popped up, you know, available through Hasbro Pulse for a short time. Sold out super quick. I know of at least one other time that it came in stock. I don't know about multiple times, but a really, really good figure that I wish, you know, everyone would be able to get their hands on because it's such a good figure. Power Rangers in Space was such a good season. I really highly recommend it. You know, I have my gripes when it comes to Power Rangers stuff. You know, like 30 years later trying to watch it, I have a difficult time trying to enjoy it. It's very campy and cheesy, you know, as it should. I mean, based off of what they did, you know, taking a whole other show and using archival footage and things and changing the story to fit what they want to do and stuff. I don't think that was necessarily an easy thing to do. And it was great, you know, when I was in like 2nd grade or whatever it was watching the show. I loved it. But it was difficult to watch in my adult years. But Power Rangers in Space was an easy watch. It made sense. Sure, Ninja Turtles showed up in an episode, which was ridiculous. But it really solid season, really good storytelling. The season was just really well done and, you know, kept Power Rangers alive. So I really highly recommend it. Red Ecliptor, this figure is pretty awesome. If you don't have this Ecliptor figure, you're really missing out. Look at that. Move over, Silver. If you don't have this one, you're really missing out. So I don't know if it's still available on Amazon or through Hasbro Pulse, but the red Ecliptor being new and only $24.99, which is not bad. You know, when you have these deluxe figures, that's essentially a regular retail price of a figure now. So maybe red Ecliptor just kind of came out at the right time that they didn't, you know, raise the price. But a solid release for sure. I like it. You guys let me know down in the comments below. What do you think of the red Ecliptor figure? What do you think of the regular Ecliptor figure? And what do you think of Power Rangers in Space Silver if you ever got it? Because these two do really go well together. Because in the clip that I saw, it was these two fighting. Hopefully we'll start to see some Zords from In Space get released. You know, we have the gliders. Like I have the TJ, the blue, In Space Blue glider. I have that. I haven't opened it yet, but that might be another one where I do a real Instagram reel instead of a full-on review. But you guys let me know your thoughts on this figure down in the comments below. If you guys liked the video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.